the advertising world is not a 9 to 5.
Yeah, it's not pop and place.
Yeah, you know, it's a until you get the job done. I'm not a hater, but even in my season, I even finished worse than Shane Eagle, but I'm the toppest in my season. Like I'm the highest of the highest. You know what I'm saying? Like people knew me as Manu the rapper. Huh? So I went to do that studio session. Shout out Bubele. He's in the States now. He has a publishing deal off of this song. You know. Ooh. So we were making rap records and we made one demo. I was not feeling that song. It was just not vibing with me. So I was like, you know what? Poison, just
let's reset. Let's
relax.
have some fun for a bit.
Yeah, let's chill. You know, play some beats while I'm on IG. I'm just gonna be scrolling through stuff. So he's playing the random beats. You know, he's going through hip hop. Then he switches the vibe to R&B. I'm scrolling through IG. I'm waiting to hear something that's gonna, you know, tickle my ear. And he plays this wire. Like he literally played 3 seconds of it. Yeah. And he skipped it because he thought, this guy's here to rap. He's not trying to hear this thing. Yeah. Oh, I heard wire. I looked up.
Your mornings with Malume Tap.
Right, we're live in studio with Manu World Star. He's also got a special guest who will intro in a little bit. And we got some new music to play for you towards the end of the interview. But for now, let's start at the beginning. Now, Manu, talk to me about, I mean, music's always been in your life. I was doing some research. I mean, it started in like for a lot of artists in church, right? Yes. You were super young. Your mom takes you to church.
Yes.
When does it actually become something that you say, this is what I want to do when I grow up? You know, when we're kids. Because I wanted to be a policeman. Then I grew up and I realized what policemen earn. And I was like, I'll be a policeman. When did you be like, listen, I actually want to be an artist?
Okay, so growing up, I had a dream. My first dream was to become a football player, right?
As in, like...
I wanted to be Ronaldo.
Professional, okay.
Yeah, I wanted to be Pele and all them. But growing up in a black household, it's kind of tough to explain to your black parents that just leave that mats and take me to the soccer field. So that didn't work out very well. So I was like, okay, cool. And music kind of found me because my mom and my dad basically raised me in the church, right? So I would be in the choir rehearsal room every Tuesday, every Thursday, sometimes Saturdays, and I would just listen. And I fell in love with the choir, the different voices, the way the choir instructor would literally conduct the room. I fell in love with that process. And then I didn't even think I could sing until the choir heard me. And I was singing very soft. And they were like, Manu, what are you doing sitting there? Come sing with us. So since then,
front center.
Yeah, I got a lead solo in the choir. And from then, I think I was about 10 years old, 10, 11.
As a lead singer?
Yes, as a lead.
Where does hip-hop come into it? Because, I mean, you entered the industry as a hip-hop artist.
Yes, my brother and my older cousins. You see, I was very young. My brother's 6 years older than me, and my cousins are all his age. So I was influenced by what they were listening to. So they were listening to a lot of G-Unit, Joe Budden. Around that time, Def Jam Icon was really popping. It's this fight game. And the characters were hip-hop artists. So that's how I got introduced to hip-hop. I used to play them on my PlayStation, you know. And I fell in love with the culture. I fell in love with how they dress, how they express themselves. So I started rapping. And then my first break came from me rapping. But I never really wanted to do it, but it was culture. And I liked that culture, you know.
That's the first time I've ever heard an artist be so honest about, like, hip-hop. He's like, yo, dude, PlayStation. I was playing a game. and I got into it. Your parents are both academics, right?
Yes.
Now, you made an example of it was kind of hard for you to tell your parents that, look, I got to go play soccer and leave the mats. But what about music? How receptive were they to you saying, I'm going to be a musician?
So I was doing that undercover from when I got to the age of 15. That's when I got into my first studio. That's when I made my first song. I had a crush on this girl in high school, and I was very scared to talk to them at that time, so I could only express my feelings on a record, right? So I did that song, and then I fell in love with that process. So I used to go to my cousin's house. He had the studio, and my excuse...
Were you doing this all like hush-hush?
Hush-hush. Also, I can do it hush-hush, you know, because I don't have the clout or no one knows that I'm doing this. So I was sharpening my pen around my cousins in time, and I was also dancing that time. So I used to dance in high school and do all the high school stuff. But undercover, I was doing music. But I always knew at the age of 18, when I can at least have a little bit of say in what I do in my life, I'm going to ask for a gap year and go hard, go crazy in that gap year. And that's what happened.
If it doesn't work out in that gap year, I can always just, go back to the whole academics thing.
Yes.
So fast forward to a few years later, you're now done with school.
Yeah.
You secure a job in advertising.
Yes.
And then you leave that job.
I leave that job. I quit on my birthday. I quit.
You quit your job on your birthday.
Yeah,
How does that go down?
Because I felt sick. I'm not gonna lie to you. I used to do a hectic routine. The advertising world is not a 9 to 5.
Yeah, it's not pop and place.
Yeah, it's a until you get the job done. So as an intern, I would be there almost 13 to 15 hours a day.
This is at the agency now.
This is at the agency, and I'm working as an intern, and I did so well that my superiors gave me a job before the internship ended, and they also gave me my first TVC. That's a TV ad.
Yeah.
So I wrote it.
So you were working directly with clients as an intern.
As an intern with
Hectic.
clients.
Well done.
And so I have a future in that. I have my degree. Even when I quit on my birthday, they told me, listen, we understand why you quit, but just know if you ever need to come back, you have a family. So my parents
They just
raised
say
me well.
those things, my guy.
Come on. my brother.
Let me tell you, they just say that, eh?
I was competing.
It makes the breakup easier.
I feel
it's like, I'm sure you've told her, hun, I'll always love you.
But let me
I'll always love you. Yeah, right.
But let me mess you up even more. I quit my job on my birthday, and literally for 2 months after that, I was lying to my parents that I was going to work every morning. But I was literally going to push my hustle until I realized that actually I can't lie to them a lot. Like, this money that I have is going to run out. And they're going to ask me, but aren't you making money? So I had to tell them, listen, I quit my job. I'm doing this. They were a bit hesitant, but after a few months, it worked out, because that same year that I quit, Nalingi came about.
The hit. It really does take that one song to get the ball rolling.
Yes.
But talk to me quickly about the process of making music with no money, with bags and bags and bags of talent, ambition, vision.
Yeah.
What does that process actually entail? Because there's a lot of artists a lot of talented people listening right now, and that's the only stumbling block. How do you get studio time? How do you network? How did you even navigate those waters?
You have to be outside a lot. If you're a closeted musician, it's not gonna work for you.
Sure.
You have to literally step outside, meet like-minded people. So I used to hang around Braamfontein a lot. I used to take taxis there every single weekend because I knew that's the creative hub. So
you're gonna bump into someone.
I'm gonna bump into people that I need, and most probably they will need me because I am an extremely talented individual. I don't just write for myself; I write for others. I have credits on a lot of big records that people don't know, right? So I have a lot of services to offer. So that worked out for me. I also did a lot of competitions, which is something that I would suggest.
I always advocate for competitions.
Yeah, because it's the free media, especially if you're talented. I did about
You
2
did
or
the
3.
hustle, didn't you?
I did the hustle. I did another competition before that. I don't know if you can name drop brands, but I don't want. So it was I did that competition where I got my first break into the industry. I met Kuli Chana and his record label CEO at that moment. So that was my first competition. I entered. It was 7,000 entries, and they only picked top 4, and I was part of the top 4. I finished second, right? So that's when I was like, okay, this thing is not just a thing. I can actually, progress. And then I did the hustle.
Were you on season 1 or 2 of the hustle?
No, I was on season 2. I was on the rubbish season.
So you weren't on my season.
No, I was.
I was. By the way, I was one of the mentors. I had, the challenge thing.
Yeah.
The challenge was to make a radio jingle, to write a rap for and I was the judge that came in.
I was gonna kill that one.
And I remember, the person who was so trash on that day. I remember telling him what a trash jingle. And I remember saying to people, like, off camera, be like, hey, this guy's got an attitude. This guy sucks. His name's Shane Eagle.
I knew it. Thank you very
So
much.
I eat humble pie on that one.
You need to eat it. Eat all of it.
But in my defense, the person who won my radio challenge was Big Star.
Yeah.
And he ended up winning the whole show, I think.
But respectfully, who won in life?
No, Shane.
That's just know what I'm saying. I mess with everyone. I'm not a hater, but even in my season, I even finished worse than Shane Eagle. But I'm the toppest in my season. Like I'm the highest of the highest. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't get better than
That's what
this.
it is. I mean, idols. Even if we look at something like idols, right? A lot of the people that finished 7th or top 20 or whatever, they've gone a lot further.
Shout out to Shekinah, man.
Heinz Winkler is still the only winner we know.
Sure.
Ami Faku, did you know she was on she was on The Voice?
The Voice.
She finished Bomber 16, but she's the winner in
Look at
life.
her now.
Exactly.
She's won. Years later, Manu, you drop Nalingi and then you score your first record deal. When was that?
So I actually kind of planted the seed to my first record deal during the hustle era, because in the package, if you won that, you would get like a 5th season contract, right?
All right.
Now the management team that I was working with,
I remember that.
at that time, 5th season was mentoring my team. So I had started the initial seed there. Didn't win that, obviously. About a few months went by and I created this demo, which is Nalingi. I created it and I told my management, I said, listen, I think you need to send it to 5th season. Let's see if they're going to think of anything.
Yeah.
They heard it. They said, come through to the office, let's talk. And then the rest is history.
Did you feel that thing with Nalingi? Like, did you know that was your breakthrough song?
Yeah.
You knew it?
Yes, I knew it. And it was a mistake that we even did it that day because I was going there to rap. Because isn't it, I was still on my rap wave. People knew me as Manu the rapper. Huh? So I went to do that studio session. Shout out Bubele. He's in the States now. He has a publishing deal off of this song. You know.
Ooh.
So we were making rap records and we made one demo. I was not feeling that song. It was just not vibing with me. So I was like, you know what? Boys and just
Let's reset. Let's
relax.
have some fun for a bit.
Yeah, let's chill. You know, play some beats while I'm on IG. I'm just gonna be scrolling through stuff. So he's playing the random beats. You know, he's going through hip hop. Then he switches the vibe to R&B. I'm scrolling through IG. I'm waiting to hear something that's gonna, you know, tickle my ear. And he plays this wire. Like he literally played 3 seconds of it.
Yeah.
And he skipped it because he thought, this guy's here to rap. He's not trying to hear this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard wire. I looked up.
Yeah.
Now the choir boy in me now wakes up. You see, because now I hear something that, it reminds me of back then. I'm like, yo, play that song. He's like, wait, this beat. Wire. I was like, yo, okay, boy. I have something in my head. I just don't know if it makes sense. Can I sing it to you? He's like, sure. And I say, Nalingi, oh, mama. He's like, bro, lay that down right now. We lay the hook. Wow. I just had that hook. I called my manager. I was like, listen to this. He went crazy on the phone. He's like,
we're going to make real money now.
This is the money.
We're going to make real money
This is the
now.
money.
Who we gonna make it out the hood?
Recorded, so I only had one verse and a chorus at that moment. I could have finished the song that day, but I told Bubele, I was like, listen, I want to take my time with this one. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna write the second verse and the bridge, and I'm gonna come back and lay it. So the song, the process maybe took about 3 weeks to create, and then we took another month to refine, added extra instruments, called different session artists in. All of these guys literally I met from church. So literally this song didn't only change my life, it changed a lot of people around. Everyone like literally started working with, like literally Rob, he's the one who did the guitar on that song. He got a Beyonce placement.
Wow.
Just off of that song, Bubele got a deal. I got a deal.
But the
I made
guitar
money.
is fire on that track.
Yeah, that guitar is fire. You
You
know.
can't deny that.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So it just worked out.
then you took a very, some would call it a risky route, but a lot of artists do it. You part ways with your record label and you become independent.
Yes.
What are the differences, and is it better? Is it better to be an independent artist, or is it better to actually have that safety of a label for things like sync deals, etc.?
You need to know the type of artist you are, number one, and you need to know where you're at in your journey. Then the third thing I would say is you need to know what you are signing, which is what most of us don't know, because we are
those 360 deals.
Yeah, we come straight from the hood. There's no music education in school, which is something I'm gonna be an advocate for. I'm just waiting for the right superstar status to kind of like walk into a room to be like, listen, why is music law not in high school?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
your sister's got them
factors.
tenders, so you're moving in the right way.
Yeah, my sister's got a tender.
Chat to her.
Use that privilege.
Guys, my family's blessed, eh? My sister's got these tenders. My brother's got a Grammy. You know?
Nice.
Yeah, my family's blessed. So, so
But yeah, back to the question. What is the big difference? And you were saying, know the kind of artist you
yeah,
are.
you gotta know the kind of artist you are, and that will determine the decision. And there's no right way of doing it, fam. I'm not gonna lie to you. They are independent artists that are killing it, and there are artists in deals that are killing it. You just need to know what type of artist you are. Are you a hustler, or do you kind of like just make the product and let a team hustle for you? That determines what type of deal you need in place. Yeah.
And then I wanted to ask another question, right? And I think this one is, I'm asking this one specifically for the undiscovered, the untapped artists that don't have many followers and they're trying to do their thing. This thing of keeping your friends so close that they become like part of your team, right?
Yeah.
Your best friend becomes your manager and your
Yeah.
driver and your agent. Talk to me about that, because my personal view is that is a bad idea. When a young artist comes up to me and he's like, yo, my manager, or in actual fact, it's the other way around. A manager is like, yo, I'm managing this artist,
Yes.
etc., etc. I'm like, no, you guys have known each other since grade 6. You're not a music manager. Is it wise to turn your friends into part of your team?
It's wise to start it off like that, because when you are coming up, the closest people around you tend to generally be your fans, right? So that's the natural thing. You want to have people around you that believe in what you push, and that tends to be your friends, right? And so the passion will be there, the hunger will be there without you having to necessarily cough up a check at that moment. But also it can get bad if your homies don't do the job for you. That's when it starts to turn bad, and you have to start cutting people off business wise, but you can still keep the
Or you
friendship.
meet people that can make
Or you
real
meet.
moves for you.
Yeah, and then you kind of like, okay, no, I don't want to say demote, but put him in the position that best suits him. Okay, boy, you were with me.
You drive
but
the
now
sponsored van now.
Yeah, now you the roadie, you the road manager.
Yeah.
And let him handle the business, and then when you are in his wing, you learn what he knows. Once you are at a space, you can now take other artists into your wing. But it's all about giving your immediate circle an opportunity to grow. But if they are not growing, you have to cut.
Now, this is where I want to bring Tiani in. Let's talk about the new song. We're about to debut it and play it for the very first time. It's called Big Boys, and it's about masculinity. Anyway, Tiani, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Uncle Tap.
You've
How
been
you feeling
adding the
today?
best ad-libs from the,
That's
from
what
the
I do.
background. I love
That's
that.
what I do.
Yeah, so talk to me. How did you guys link up on the song?
My boy Manu's been my brother for a very long time now. I think our journey starts back as far back as 2017 time. We met actually doing a flying fish campaign. I hate to name drop brands, but that's where it all began. And I think the truth of the brotherhood, it was effortless. It was natural chemistry. And even from then, as much as I wasn't doing the music at that point, I watched his journey and I was a fan of his journey. And I would even send him clips of me listening and bumping to the song. And we've just tracked each other's progress over the years. And it just came into a beautiful space. When I started music, I asked myself, how best do I navigate this road? How best do I navigate the industry as an independent artist? And I literally humbled myself enough to come back to my brother. We sat down, we had a meeting, hit studio the next day, and the rest is history.
Yes, so.
What's the song about? 7 types of masculinity.
Nah, never that, never that. I think the song truly is about the energy that every African man possesses, that big boy energy, that truly African spirit that can overcome and conquer anything. And I think more so the music, and even as we tap into the music that is coming along in the pipeline for the rest of the EP, you're going to hear so many different avenues, so many different melodies that are going to appeal to not just the masculinity, but to every and all walks of life.
You want to bomba?
You wanna chill with the
big boy.
Come on now.
That's the title of the song. It's called Big Boys. And you know what? I think people think that we have to be nice to our guests. We should be. We don't have to be though. But this is one of the best songs I've debuted in a while. This is fire.
Big love.
This is a big tune,
Big
right?
love.
This is going to get a lot of radio play. I can tell you that.
Thank you.
Them 5 rands are stacking up.
Hallelujah.
Every
Now,
coin.
the thing is, you gave us the song. Now I keep it.
Hallelujah.
That one, I'm telling you, we're putting that on the
Run
playlist.
it up, run it up.
That's going on high rotation.
Thank you,
Blessings.
sir. I
That's on that
appreciate it.
first level rotation. In closing, what can we look forward to? What's upcoming? And what do your fans need to look out for?
From the big boys, best believe there is big motion ahead. We've got a beautiful EP coming your way. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. That Afro-Yano fusion, we're trying to give the people sounds that are globally enjoyed, and I think we very much delivered that on the project. You can expect fashion, you can expect shows, you can expect an orchestra. So best believe that this summer is going to be a hot
Yeah, what's the
one.
obsession with orchestras these days?
You know, sometimes you got to give them the
Listen,
symphony.
this time
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
There's other people that have done stuff with orchestras, and I'm like, I leave the orchestra.
No,
it
you
doesn't
know
work
what?
with everything.
If you're, look, we are real musicians.
Yes, I was about to say that. You need to have some level of musical training
Yeah.
to do something with an orchestra.
We've been doing this for, decade. It's a decade that I know my things, and I know what's missing in the next wave of this brand is the live experience. And that is what I want to do. I don't want, listen, we can rock in the club, but I don't want to be booked in the club no more. I want to go there and
do concerts.
toast.
Yeah.
You need to catch me at my show.
Yes, sir.
So that's the next phase.
We want to be doing prayers with our teams backstage.
Exactly.
Amen.
Before we get up on that
Amen.
stage and perform.
Amen.
You know what I
Thank
mean?
you.
Amen.
We
That's
don't want to be
exactly-
sitting with free bottles
No,
and
no,
road
no.
managers in the
That's
club.
not
I
so.
agree.
That's not the wave.
It gets old.
We
I
go
agree.
to the club to celebrate. You come to my show to
It's the after party.
Yeah.
The club is the
Yes,
after
sir.
party.
That's
Yes.
the
Yes.
celebration.
So that's it.
Awesome stuff, guys. Thanks for coming through,
Thank you for
and
having us.
appreciate you. The song's going to live for quite a while.
Thank you.
Right here on 89.8 to 103.9. By the way, the largest, right, by landmass, the largest commercial station provincially in South Africa, right?
Hey,
Oh, okay.
Did y'all, I mean, you don't know how big the Northwest is, right? Did you know? I'll give you a little tip, right? You can drive from one town in the Northwest to another and drive for 5.5 hours. If you left right now and drove 5.5 hours to Durbs, you'd be there, and
Literally.
you will have passed 3 provinces along the way.
Mad tips.
Listen, I know that the Northwest is a very big supporting province of mine. I did a lot of come-up shows
Lots of love.
in the Northwest, so all of my Northwest people,
Big love.
World Star loves you, Tiani Africa loves
Big
you,
love,
and also
big love
if you are
to the
in Joburg
Northwest.
right this weekend, I have a show at the Agog Theatre at Maboneng. The show is called Made in Congo. It's going to be an amazing vibe. I am there for, I don't know when's the 30th, but the 30th.
Next weekend.
Next weekend.
yeah.
Please buy your tickets. It's on Ticket Pro. Get it.
See you soon.